Let's turn this into this. Hi, Marie here with another how-to video for you. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a pottery studio from start to finish and give you some helpful tips along the way. Let's get started. First thing you're going to need is flooring. And of course, everyone wants to protect their floors. Make sure it's snug up against your wall and corner. There. After the floor is protected, want to start bringing in the shelving. Every studio needs shelving. If you can't go out, you can go up. It's a great way to utilize your space. I keep things like stencils and notes for glazes in my desk drawer. Keep extra things in here like sponges and tape. And wire. And of course, we all need lotion for our hands. Now that I have all of my shelving in place, I'm going to start with all of the things that you need for glazing. Starting with glazes and underglazes. I chose this shelf because I want to go up instead of out. I label the glaze on the top also, which helps a lot. Very convenient when you're looking at glazes way in the back. Get a little closer here. Sometimes you have to move a few glazes around to find which one you want, but it's still pretty convenient. Have to have brushes. And some of my underglazes that I've mixed different colors. I've Bisque Fix, Mako Flux. Oh, and these cool little glaze crystals. I tried it, works pretty good. Some wax resist, my slip glaze and underglaze applicator. Works great. And my soap for bubble glazing. I have a video on bubble glazing. Looks pretty cool. Should try it. More underglazes. It's very convenient to have them in containers like this. I just take them over to my work table and choose the colors I want. More underglazes. You can't have enough underglazes or glazes. Put the pearl white on top of the pearl white. I don't use this one as much, so I want to put it in the back. Now for the gallon glazes. If you use a lot of one color, it is more economical to get gallon jugs. Newspaper for glazing. Of course, you need strainers. And I use plastic lids when I'm pouring the glaze on the inside and I let the extra glaze drip out. Comes in real handy. Works great. Can't have enough bowls for glazing. You need different sizes for different size bisqueware. Always need a spray bottle in your studio to keep the dust down. Spray gun for spray glazing. My rotary tools, they come in real handy when the glaze melts onto my cookie. And of course, banding wheels. Every studio needs a little toolkit. And my blender to blend my glazes. Now you can't have all these glazes and glaze supplies without bisqueware. You need a place to store your bisqueware before glazing. You want to leave yourself a good amount of space because you can build up the bisqueware pretty quickly. And of course you need a work table to apply all your glazes, like this. I'm able to move it around my work area, a little closer to my glazes if I want, or a little further away. I can glaze sitting down if I want, or standing up with my Varidesk. I love how I can adjust the height for my needs. I just covered it with a plastic tablecloth to protect the top. It works out great. Now that everything's in the studio for glazing, it's time to bring in all of the things that you need for making the pottery. I'm going to take the work table out so you can see where I'm placing everything in the studio. You can't make pottery without clay. I store some down here underneath my desk and right here. Some of my slips and mason stains. My handheld clay extruders. Must have in the studio. Wear boards. I have to have wear boards. Makes it much easier to carry your pottery around in the studio and to the kiln. My trimming helpers, the Giffin grip, and the Bailey Quick Trim. If you're thinking of getting one, I do have a review video on these to help you choose which one is best for you. And of course, all the accessories for the Giffin grip. This is an adjustable one. All of my measuring and mixing supplies for making slips and fun things like that. Plastic bags. Every studio needs plastic bags for your greenware. And keep your clay moist. All my fun throwing tools, and decorating too, and trimming. A place for my sponges, and rags, and my wire cutters. Nice and handy. bats for throwing. It's good to have a lot of bats for throwing. You want to make sure you store them vertically. I have a video on types, uses, and how to take care of them. I left the link for you below in the show notes. Do you want to do pottery with me? You can't have enough buckets. I use these mainly for throwing on the wheel. My decorating and hand building cart. Have to have a good respirator when you're working with dry clay or glazes, and when you're grinding melted glaze off your pottery. My different forms for hand building, and cornstarch, gloves for glazing, dipping tongs, and other fun hand building and decorating tools. And of course, you can't throw without a pottery wheel. These are great for small studios. They hardly take up any room. Very convenient. I store mine right here. Nice, easy access. Or 2 pottery wheels. Can't have enough pottery wheels. It does come in handy when you have friends over that want to throw with you. And this one also stores nicely and is good for small spaces. I do have a review video on the portable Artista Speedball pottery wheel and the Skytow pottery wheel machine. I left the link for you below. And of course, this is my workhorse pottery wheel, and my very favorite. I have a review for this one on my Pottery Crafters website. And of course you need a workspace for your clay also, but you don't want to use the same table that you're using to glaze with. I solved that problem in a small studio like this. I have a 1/2 inch 2x4 piece of oak wood that I put on top of my glaze work surface. And when I'm not using it for clay, I take it off and use it for glaze. This wood surface will slide around, so I have to secure it to my very desk so I can wedge and hand build on it. These C-clamps work great. I put 3 C-clamps on to secure my hand building and wedging board. I also had this handy wire cutter built for me. It works great. Maybe I'll do a video on it. Let me know in the comments section below. Or if you want me to do a video on anything else, please feel free to let me know. And of course you need a scale to weigh your clay out. You want to know how much clay you need for a mug, a bowl, a plate. And if you need an extension cord in your area, it's always good to use a protected extension cord. Scraper to scrape off any, you don't need to know that. And don't forget your aprons. And of course you need a place to put your greenware while you're waiting for it to dry to put into the kiln for a bisque fire. I like to use this rack for the air to get underneath so the clay can dry more evenly. You want a place to put your finished pottery also. This is a wonderful studio space. My wheels are nice and convenient to get to. And I can throw right here if I want, standing up. I can use my Skytow for trimming. and my clay buckets for my slurry when I'm throwing clay. Nothing ever goes down the drain. That's very important. You don't want to clog your drains. I leave these outside. And of course that depends on the weather. It doesn't freeze here, so I can leave everything outside. If it freezes, then you'll have to keep it in your studio. And my damp boxes to keep my clay leather hard until I'm ready to trim or decorate. And I store them right here. I can even store them one on top of the other. That's it. Wait. My studio can't be complete without a kiln area. This is where I keep my glazing buckets, my drill with the mixer attachment, my air compressor for spray glazing, my cookies. I have a lot of cookies. Kiln wash, pyrometric cones or witness cones, my kiln furniture, safety gear. I store some of my greenware in here before I put it into the kiln for a bisque fire. And last but not least, my Scott 818 kiln. When I'm ready to fire, I just pull her out from against the wall and fire her up. Now that I've given you some pottery studio setup ideas, head on over to my 21 glaze questions video. If you do, I get to play with more clay. Let's stay dirty